I still remember the exact moment it hit me, like a punch I never saw coming. I was sitting on the edge of our bed, half asleep, half drifting through some late-night scrolling on my phone when a message notification blinked across the screen. I didn't recognize the number at first. The message read, "One night, I'd totally do it again." My chest tightened. I stared at the words, a dull, spreading ache taking over my chest. I knew it was from her, my wife, the woman I trusted more than anyone else in the world. My mind spun. Was this a joke? A misfire? I reread it 3 times, each word sinking deeper, each repetition a hammer striking a fragile part of me I didn't even realize existed. I should have asked her immediately, but I didn't. Part of me wanted proof, evidence, something undeniable before I allowed myself to confront this nightmare. I told myself I was overreacting. Maybe it was someone else. Maybe she'd been hacked. Maybe I'd imagined it. But the uneasy feeling settled anyway, a shadow that stretched across every corner of our home. In the following days, I started noticing things I should have seen before. Little cracks in her behavior. Tiny shifts that now screamed betrayal. She would answer her phone and quickly tuck it away. The kind of subtle secrecy I'd once dismissed as normal privacy. Missed calls stacked up without explanation. She'd laugh at something on her screen and then immediately switch her expression. When I walked by, I started questioning myself. Was I being paranoid? Was I losing my mind? Maybe I was reading too much into it, letting my insecurities twist normal moments into suspicion. But deep down, my gut refused to lie. I remember the night she stayed late, at work, and the smell of perfume on her scarf that wasn't hers. The late-night texts she quickly silenced when I passed by. The way she'd suddenly turn the conversation whenever I asked about her day. One afternoon, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I asked her to sit down with me. She tilted her head, smiling faintly, the kind of smile that used to warm me. "What's wrong?" she asked innocently. But I could see it, just for a second, something flickering behind her eyes, something I didn't want to see. I just feel like something's off. I said carefully, "I don't know what it is, but I feel like you're hiding something from me." She shrugged, leaning back lazily. "I'm not hiding anything," she said, voice calm, almost too calm. "You worry too much." I wanted to believe her. I wanted to, but her composure only made the pit in my stomach deepen. My mind replayed every memory, every laugh, every touch that now felt tainted. The morning she kissed me on the cheek, but lingered on her phone afterward. The evening she told me she was tired, but I knew she wasn't. Every small act suddenly screamed betrayal. It wasn't long before I found the evidence. It wasn't some dramatic discovery. No storm of fireworks or accidental walk-in. Just a quiet, ordinary evening where curiosity overcame caution. I saw a message pop up on her laptop, the screen glowing with familiarity. A simple exchange between her and someone named Eric. Words filled with intimacy, innuendo, and a casual disregard for my existence. I didn't cry. Not yet. I just sat there, frozen, the world narrowing down to the words on that screen. Every laugh we'd shared suddenly sounded hollow. Every memory became a knife twisting in my chest. I could almost hear her voice over the years, the ones where I thought we were happy, now punctuated by the betrayal I'd uncovered. The confrontation was inevitable. I waited for her to come home, rehearsing every possible way to approach her. When she finally walked through the door, carrying groceries, she smiled, unaware of the storm waiting for her. I asked the question that would define everything. "Did you sleep with him?" She paused, setting down the bags. And then she smirked. Not nervously, not in shame, but a small, almost playful smirk. "One night," she said softly. "Yeah, I'd totally do it again." Time froze. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The words hit harder than anything I could have imagined. I wanted to scream, to run, to shake her, to disappear. But I just stood there, looking at the person I'd given everything to, and realizing that everything I thought I knew was a lie. We talked, eventually, not in shouts or tears at first, but in quiet, bitter honesty. She explained her side, not as an apology, not with shame, but with justification. She said it was a moment she couldn't resist, a choice she didn't regret. She said it didn't change how she felt about me. And in that moment, I understood everything. She had moved through her guilt with ease while I had been drowning in suspicion. The fallout was devastating. I replayed our life in my mind, finding betrayal in every ordinary moment. The nights she kissed me goodnight, the mornings we laughed over coffee, the small kindnesses now felt like deliberate lies. My trust was shattered, replaced by a careful, brittle wariness. And yet, a part of me still loved her, despite the betrayal, despite the humiliation, despite the raw pain in my chest every time I remember that smirk. I realize that love doesn't always protect you. Sometimes, it just exposes you, leaves you vulnerable to the cruelest truths. But pain also teaches. I learned that I deserved honesty, respect, and fidelity. I learned that carrying someone else's deceit is not weakness. It's a choice. Eventually, I made my decision. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't explosive. It was quiet, deliberate, a line drawn not in anger but in self-respect. I packed my things, and when she came home that evening, I simply said, I can't do this anymore. I can't stay where my trust has been shattered so completely. She didn't cry. She didn't plead. She just watched me, the smirk replaced by a flicker of something unreadable. Surprise, maybe regret, maybe nothing at all. I left, closing the door behind me, and for the first time in weeks, I felt the possibility of peace. The days that followed were hard. Memories haunted me, moments that once felt comforting now sharp and bitter. I questioned whether I'd ever trust again, whether love could ever feel safe. But slowly, step by step, I reclaimed myself. I learned to enjoy the quiet mornings, the empty spaces, the freedom of breathing without suspicion shadowing every thought. I don't know if she ever regretted it, and honestly, I stopped caring. What mattered was me, my healing, my dignity, my ability to stand in the world without carrying someone else's betrayal. And one day, maybe love would feel real again, but it would be on my terms, with someone who saw me, respected me, and chose me without hesitation. And so I moved on, not in rage, not in dramatic revenge, but with quiet strength, with the knowledge that I survived something that could have broken me. And that, in itself, was victory enough.